Patreon Q&A number 69, part 2. Yes, it is still nice. And part 1 was released earlier today. I still want to thank all 103 of my incredibly attractive, overpowered patrons. I love you guys so much, and I can't thank you enough. To everyone else listening, there's going to be spoilers in these questions and answers, so tread carefully. Thighs of Zeus asks, hey Shonen, first off, thanks for liking my name. I came up with it while thinking of you. Just kidding. My question this week, once again, has to do with One Punch Man predictions. How would you predict the upcoming arcs order until the end of the manga, and how long do you think each will be? I think Civil War arc might be followed by Organization, Metal Knight, Mad Cyborg arc, since there are so many robot-based plot threads out there. I'm also assuming God will need an arc too. Not expecting a lengthy one though. Anyway, thanks man, keep up the good work. So this is a great question, and I'm really unsure at this point because I thought that we were going to go straight into the Neo Heroes arc, but that's kind of just taken a back seat, and then we went straight into this ninja arc with Flashy Flash and Sonic and all of that stuff. So where are we going now? Maybe we're going into like this My Mask Saitama arc where he's trying to build up Saitama as something, or something like that, because that obviously happened at the end of chapter 118, which was clearly capping off the ninja arc. So I guess we're going to go into whatever that is, but I assume at any point we're going to be going into this Civil War arc with the Neo Heroes versus the Hero Association, and I think this is probably going to be the next really long arc in the series. And then after that, maybe we'll go into the Organization arc, possibly, which will obviously include the Mad Cyborg, but then also, you know, Metal Knight is out there, and he's going to have beef with Saitama, so will that play into that? Is it going to be like a three-way battle between the Organization, Metal Knight, and Saitama, and Genos? It's hard to say right now because there's so many unknown things going on, but I do think for sure at the end, the very last arc will be God, and that will be very long too. I think I talk about it in my How One Punch Man will end video, but I think God is eventually going to like cultivate like his own like Akatsuki or the Espada, the Arrancar, something like that. He's going to make like super powerful guys similar to Homeless Emperor, but and Vaccine Man, but way more powerful than them, so that he has like his own little, you know, little powerful group of dudes to take on the S-Class, and then he himself will take on Saitama, and it's eventually going to culminate with that being what Shibawa's prophecy was. So for now, I see at least like 3 big arcs to come, but there's probably going to be more than that because I did not foresee the ninja arc coming. Wesley asks, hey Shonen, short question, hypothetically if Child Emperor or Dr. Bufoy made a robot for King to control like a video game character, who could it beat in a fight? I assume the Metal Knight robots are controlled by Bufoy directly, so what if Bufoy one day decided to let King take the wheel? Love your videos, keep chugging along. So, yeah, I mean, Metal Knight would not be as good as King. King would be able to pilot those things way better than both him and Child Emperor, at least from what we've seen so far, because like he's an unrivaled gamer. He even defeated that one pro gamer from the Fubuki group, or former pro gamer, while King was not a pro gamer himself. So if he was able to control something like that in real life, once he had enough practice on it, it would be way better than what we saw of like Metal Knight using against the Meteor and Elder Centipede. Now, you know, we don't know how strong the robots they can make for him, but we could just, you know, hypothetically assume that they'd be as strong as those Metal Knight robots and Brave Giant. So he could probably definitely take out demons and stuff like that. But if he had like Brave Giant, then he could probably even take out dragons too, because we saw the dragon, he was able to compete with like Phoenix Man before he went into Berlin Eagle mode. So, you know, but going any above further than that, it's just being too generous, I would say, but he could definitely get the job done. Zapod B asks, does every cell in Black S have the ability to increase its cell count? In the webcomic, we see Black S eating dog food to increase his cell count. Is this something that every copy of him can do, or is this an ability exclusive to the central cell? If every cell divides and each reach 11 trillion on its own, wouldn't that make Black S above God? Do you like spinach puffs? I love spinach puffs whenever I can get them. Like usually at like I don't know, like some kind of like thing that has them like in catering or something. I eat the crap out of those things. I love them. But as for your original question, I think you nailed it on the head with the central cell being the only one that can cultivate or increase its cell count, because that's the way that it kind of seemed. Because we only saw like the one main Black S eating the dog food to increase the cell count, and it wasn't really made clear that if he spread himself apart that he can keep increasing his cell count like that. And I think that if one wanted that to be the case, he would have shown us that. And also it would, like you stated also, it would make him a little too overpowered, because if he can just stretch himself into like the 100 copies or so of him that's left, and they all ate him and they kept going to 11 trillion, then it would just be way more than 11 trillion. So if he was inherently able to do that in the first place, then, you know, he would still obviously have more than 11 trillion. So I'm assuming that he has to become one whole Black S without any copies of him, you know, being out there in order for him to increase his cell count. Paxton D asks, hey Shonen, thought I'd get in my question early for once. Haha, if USJ Nomu was in One Punch Man, how strong do you think it'd be enough to be a cadre in the Monster Association? Also, what hero do you think would be strong enough to take it out? So yes, he would definitely be a cadre. He would be around that mid-dragon level. Super fast, super powerful, has the shock absorption quirk and regeneration. That is just really powerful. Like, to this day, he is still one of the strongest villains we've ever seen in My Hero. I just don't understand why, like, All For One and Yujiko didn't try to keep making him over and over again and just waste their time with the other weaker ones. But in order to take him out, you need like a Flashy Flash or a Darkshine type guy. Really, like, if you're going any weaker than that, they're going to have an extremely difficult time dealing with something like that. My next question is, do you think Golden S was the right move? 13 trillion Black S's is a lot to deal with. Do you think if he kept multiplying, he would eventually be able to deal with the damaged Tatsumaki and even Awakened Garou? So Golden S was the right move. And that's because the individual Black S's just weren't strong enough to overcome the power of Tatsumaki's Esper, her own individual power. Like, they just kept getting blown away. They couldn't muscle through it. So that's why he fused together, so that he can become strong enough to just go muscle pure brute strength through her Esper force. Because you saw, like, the difference between, like, the regular Golden S, the multi-S, and then once it eventually got to Golden S, she couldn't muscle him around anymore. And also, he needed to be fast enough, too. So, it was the right move, and obviously, he was doing mad damage to Tatsumaki. But Awakened Garou, I think it was the right move as well, because it just pre-woke Garou was vaporizing Black S. Like, the individual Black S. Like, he was not enough to deal with pre-woke Garou, so Awakened Garou would be even more of a savage beatdown. Steven asks, Shuvo Sadye, is Fubuki actually deeper underground than Tatsumaki? Because I thought they were foreshadowing something when she sensed something. Keep up the good work, dude. So this is a great question. So either that shine of light that we saw was either her, like, sensing it, or we were seeing, like, the active flash of the explosions from Rover. And I questioned that in my review too. I was like, does that mean that they're underground? Is she seeing like the shockwave? Or is that just like her sensing something? I think it possibly could mean that they're under her. Because, like, even though it's kind of difficult to, like, gauge the architecture and, like, where everyone is in the Monster Association at this point, because it seemed like Giro was probably close to the bottom, but if we're taking into account where Rover is, I guess they're below them. Phoenix Man asks, greetings Shonen, long time no question, eh? Yeah, it has been. Thank you for coming back, Phoenix Man. Here's a little fun question. Everyone knows the best way to a monster's heart is through their stomach. What would you think of the cadre's favorite dishes are? Still enjoying the content as always, Z. Have fun with this one and take care. Hey, thank you, Phoenix Man. So I think Black S would probably be like a candy type of guy. He'd probably just like eat chocolate bars and stuff like that. Elder Centipede, I assume, would probably stick to like a similar Centipede's diet, which is like eating other bugs like roaches and spiders. So he'd probably eat like the spider or just the bug monsters, like Spiderino or Awakened Cockroach. He'd probably enjoy eating those. Evil Natural Water, it's hard to say because, you know, he's like barely self-aware, so maybe he just eats like algae or like plankton or stuff like that. If you're ugly, he probably just consumes mass fast food, like just McDonald's and Wendy's and stuff like that, just scarfs it down real disgustingly. Goketsu, he seems like a straight up meat carnivore type dude, so he probably just eats like bear meat and just stuff like that, like huge pieces of steak or something. Homeless Emperor, you know, being homeless, I'm sure he just eats trash. You know, stuff like that. But considering that he's the Emperor, maybe he has like fancy trash or whatever. Gums, he seems to enjoy eating monsters, so maybe like the more stronger the monster, the more of a delicacy they are. Neon, I'm going to assume that he probably eats like salmon, stuff like that, you know, like really good quality fish. And then Overgrown Rover probably just eats anything, probably prefers to eat meat. The bigger the better. Mr. Awesome asks, hey Big Z, how you doing? Hey, I'm doing good. I hope you are too, Mr. Awesome. I was originally planning on having a Warhammer 40k and One Punch Man crossover question this week, but given that 40k is more niche fandom and you don't listen in your bio, it seemed like a long shot that you would be able to answer my questions without putting in a good amount of work on your site. Hey, you're right about that. So I eventually landed on these questions. What if Bang ate the Jacket fruit from Dressrosa and Super Ally Darkshine put him on? Silver Ally Darkfang? During the Monster Association arc, what would their disaster level be? Could they beat in Golden S, Awakened Gar, or Hot Dog Monster? So I think it would actually be better if Darkshine ate the Jacket fruit and then put himself on Bang. Because then if Bang was wearing Darkshine, then he would gain the strength and the durability of him, but still have the inherent martial arts, the skills, the speed, and the reflexes. And then he would just be really crazy powerful at that point. I think he would definitely be above Dragon for sure, and he could defeat Golden S if this scenario were to play out. Awakened Gar, on the other hand, I don't think he'd be able to take him out. He would give him a good fight, probably the best fight that Awakened Gar would have outside of Saitama at that point, but I don't think he's probably strong enough to get the job done there. Hot Dog Monster, same kind of scenario there. Second question is, what if a single Death Knight from Overlord was dropped into the One Punch Man world as a member of the Monster Association? What disaster level would you give it, and who do you think it would be a good matchup? So, I was able to check out what this thing is, and he seems pretty powerful. He would definitely be a demon. I mean, he has great durability, good size, good strength. He can move pretty good, especially has that pretty significant ability where he can become like that black mist and teleport almost. So that's pretty significant, but he doesn't really strike me as anything more than like maybe a mid, maybe a high demon. A good matchup for him would probably be Zombie Man, but it's like, how would his durability go against like his big, crazy bullets from the special guns that he has? Obviously, his bladed weapons wouldn't work on the Death Knight. And would he be able to exhaust Zombie Man? Would Zombie Man really be able to do anything against the Death Knight? But if not Zombie Man, then definitely the Disciples. Like, if you swap out Devil Longhair for a Death Knight, he would probably take out the Disciples. Anyway, Shonen, thanks for your answers. I decided to go up a tier. One question a week definitely wasn't enough. I look forward to your answers. You rock. Also, nice. Yes, you acknowledged it. And thank you for upping your patronage, Mr. Awesome. I really appreciate it. Flashy Flash asks, Flashy Flash versus Overgrown Rover. The fight takes place where Flashy Flash fought Hellfire and Gale. I think Flash wins. What do you think? So I think it's really difficult to say that if he could defeat Overgrown Rover because we don't know what his durability is like against like a bladed attack like that. In fact, I mean, Overgrown Rover has survived a full power punch from the pre-woke Garo that, faced off against him and Orochi. He shook it off. He took the Crossfang Dragon Slayer fist after taking a somewhat normal punch from Saitama, like a restrained normal punch. So he's incredibly durable. And we saw that just that restrained punch from Saitama was strong enough to make him bleed. So you're going to have to start getting close to that level of power to be able to pierce his durability. So is the Flashy Slash strong enough to replicate power similar to the punch that that Saitama gave Overgrown Rover? Man, it's really hard to say. So I'm not sure if Flashy Flash can overcome his durability. I mean, he definitely needs his sword. Like, his physical strikes are not enough. He's obviously fast enough to avoid the blasts of Rover, but how long would they keep going back and forth before it's like a stalemate, or eventually Flashy Flash gets tired, or he just runs away? If I had to bet, I would just put my money on Overgrown Rover for now. I don't think we can definitively say that Flashy Flash would be able to take him. Second question, my hero question. Who do you think is the traitor in UA? I personally don't think that there is any traitor because in the most recent events in the manga about Kurogiri, I just think that Kurogiri just told Shigaraki that where the camp was. What do you think? Thanks, bro. So I think there definitely is a traitor. I think it would be poor writing and just really anticlimactic if there wasn't a traitor at this point, considering how many times that Horikoshi has talked about it and put it out there. I don't think he just puts it out there for no reason. Also, I think around chapter 241, somewhere around there, Nezu brings up the traitor again. He says, it's been 4 months since they moved into the dorms, and there's been no, funny business. So I guess that means that there's no traitor. That, in turn, is telling us that there still is a traitor. It's kind of like Horikoshi reminding us that this plot line is still alive because it hasn't been addressed in so long. And I think we will eventually see the traitor when the big Paramount War of My Hero comes, like when Shigaraki's transformation is complete, and then we have that big battle. That's when we'll see who it is. I still think that it's between the two big candidates, Kaminari or Hagakure. Probably Kaminari, because another thing that proves that there's a traitor is if you go back to the training camp arc, when the Vanguard squad attacks, it shows a scene of all of the students sleeping, and you see the girls and then you see the boys, and when it cuts over to the boys, there's a person that's missing from their bed, and that was shown for a reason, and it was happening at the exact time that the attack happened. We can't really make out who it was, but it might have been Kaminari. And also recently, we saw Kaminari doing straight up the Liberation Army salute on his head. So either that was just unintentional by Horikoshi, or he was just pointing out there that, hey, look, he's doing the friggin' liberation salute. He might be the traitor. It remains to be seen, but I think that, he's one of the most popular candidates for a reason. Third question, the Okami mask could have read the numbers over, if they could read numbers over 10,000 and Child Emperor could make the mask to scan these characters, what would the numbers for each character be? So going off of the scale of like Spiderino, who was like a low, mid demon, he had like a scale of 7,000. And we saw the difference between him and an A-class hero. It was like about 5,000 or so. And the A-class hero is typically like Tiger. So if we're going up to like these super powerful characters, considering how easy they could take out somebody like Spiderino, who is 7,000, I guess we have to go pretty high. So like Flashy Flash would probably be around like 20,000. I'm just taking a guess with these. These are just guesstimates. I want to make a video dedicated to a subject like this, but just for now, I'm just taking a rough estimate. Just, I don't want to get too extreme with the calculations. But Flash, like 20,000. Golden S, like around 25, 30,000. Abandonment Bang would probably be like, like above 20,000 probably, but, maybe below 25. I think Darkshine would probably be like 25,000. Pre-woke Garo that fought Darkshine would probably be 25, above 25,000. The one that fought Golden S probably like 30,000. And then Armored Boros would probably be like 30,000 as well. Shadowbat XS, how are you feeling today? The one and only disaster level above Saitama Shonen. Up with the pledge because I didn't feel like it was an even number. I prefer odds. Also, I'm excited for Q&A 69, which is a very nice number. That is true. Thanks for not blocking me. Hey, I was just kidding. I would never do that. So, in an older video, you kept mentioning that Flashy Flash's performance against Saitama is right up there with released Boros. So my question is, who would win Flashy Flash webcomic or released Boros? I don't think it's a one-sided and current. Flashy Flash could defeat him since one of the factors in One Punch Man universe that determines strength is speed. Physical strength, I'm not so sure, but I feel like Flash could give Boros a challenge and might play out JoJo style where one outsmarts the other. So Shonen, what do you think? I'm sure you'll find a way to crush my hopes that Flash can beat Boros. So when I said that, I wasn't like saying that it was like exactly the same. I would say that it was similar. It was similar to the performance that released Boros gave to Saitama. Definitely not the same. I mean, if I were to rate their performances, I would say Flashy Flash was like a 6, and released Boros was like an 8 or a 9. Somewhere around there. So that's like the difference between them. I think that released Boros is probably just as fast as Flashy Flash, but obviously way more powerful than him physically and like energy based and all that stuff. So, Flashy Flash could compete against released Boros sololy, but it wouldn't really last too long. Like, man, released Boros is just way too friggin' crazy powerful for somebody of Flashy Flash's skill level to compete with him. I mean, just take a look at how Flashy Flash did against Awakened Garo. It would be similar, if not even more of a beatdown from released Boros than that. Fun question. You seem to know about Venom and the symbiote. Very limited knowledge, but I am aware of it. It's been a trend on the other heroes' villains to wear it, and DC heroes such as Superman have worn it too, so why not include it in the One Punch Man universe? So choose 3 characters that you love, and what disaster level could they be? They could be heroes, monsters, aliens, or villains. I'm pretty sure you'll pick Boros, Garo, and King. Yes, the symbiote can handle immense powers like Boros, all forms. Just because I called you out these 3 doesn't mean you're forced to pick them. Have fun with these, Shonen. Surprise me with your choices and answers. So I'd like it if, like, the weaker characters wore them, honestly. Like, the powerful ones are cool and all, but I'd like to see, like, if somebody, like, I don't know, E-Iron put it on, like, what would happen with him. Same thing with, like, the Double Hole. I really like Double Hole. He's one of, like, my favorite characters in the series. You know, the guy with the nose blast thing that he has. If he put it on, what would happen with him? Same thing with, like, Needle Star. How would that affect, like, his Morning Star mace chain thing? Like, that would probably be amplified. I just want to see these weaker characters get significantly strong from, like, a symbiote buff or something like that. I mean, yeah, it'd be fun to see, like, the S-Class heroes just go from already godly to, like, even above godly, but I'm more so interested in seeing the weaker guys get buffs from stuff like that. And I just wanted to say thank you for pushing yourself with the content and the Q&A videos. I may not say it enough, but I'm very thankful for you providing this. I'm sure the double upload can be a pain in the A, but it does get me through the busiest times. Thank you for your entertainment. It's really no problem. I enjoy doing these, and it's kind of like active recovery for me from doing all of the other videos. But I really appreciate your support and everyone else's more than everything. It makes these videos all the worth it, really, so it's really no problem. Can't wait for your next vid, like why King is more powerful than Saitama, Blast, and God combined. Nothing gets me more excited than a vid that gets me angry. Anyway, take care. The only content creator who rightfully earned the title of One Above All. Have a fantastic day. Sorry I stole your ending code. You kind of stole it. I say have a great day, but fantastic is even better. So I hope you do too, Shadowbat. The One Above All patrons Wolf Pup asks, welcome home, Oni-chan. I hope you're doing okay. Don't think I'm going to raise my Patreon bucks just because you call me the One Above All patrons. Haha, Nani, I already did. Baka! Runs away. Bonjour, Jonan Wolfpup here. I hope my Patreon bucks is worthy here. I know it's not a lot, but I pray for your success. Hey, it's more than enough, Wolf, and you know I appreciate it so much. It's really amazing how much you support me, and I can't thank you enough for it. Honestly, thank you. My question is, where could the story have gone if both Bang and Bomb were in their prime all the way back to Season 1 and ending after the War Arc? So fighting Elder Centipede over on Rover, and finally fighting the executive members. Instead of Flashy Flash and Darkshine, it will both be Prime Bang and Bomb fighting Awakened Garo, Saitama coming in later, of course. So, I think they would definitely be able to defeat Elder Centipede and Overgrown Rover. But, the executives too, that wouldn't really change. But Golden S and Awakened Garo, difficult to say, honestly, because I still can't accurately gauge how powerful Prime and Bang and Bomb are. I'm going to make a new video on them. Because of the developments that we got from Chapter 124 and 125, but just to be fair, I would say that they would give Awakened Garo a much more difficult fight, probably his most difficult that he had besides Saitama, but maybe not still get the job done. Just because it would be way too generous, honestly, and Awakened Garo was just so unfathomably powerful compared to everyone else. How will the fight go down if Golden Drive Knight went up against Elder Centipede Underground in the Monster Association, Drive Knight witnessing Genesis fight with Elder Centipede in the forest and escapes underground? Since we know that Drive Knight has battle data on the executive members, Woody, mid, high diff, EC. Drive Knight coming fully prepared. I don't think Drive Knight, even in his gold form, prepared would be still enough to take down EC. Man, there was nothing really anyone could do against him. Even Genos going inside of him, blowing him out with that super powerful, crazy chest laser thing that he did. Still, he just kind of regenerated from that and laughed it off. And the Void Aura Ripping Fist only cracked his Carabase and he regenerated from it. Is Drive Knight really able to generate more damage than that? Maybe. At his full power, maybe he could. But Gold Drive Knight, yeah, it was pretty impressive what he did against Neon, but Neon is very far from EC in many ways. So, in order for Gold Drive Knight to be able to defeat EC, it would be beyond high diff. I would honestly put my money on EC in this fight. If a Mind Mask and Super S had a baby, how strong would he be? Super S, would she pass on her monster genes to the baby? What is a Mind Mask? If a Mind Mask is not entirely a monster, then how would the baby be? It would be pretty powerful. I think it would have S-Class potential for sure, just from being, born of a Mind Mask. But if you throw Super S in there, then it's probably destined to become S-Class in level. S-Class in strength in the future of its life, for sure. Also, we need a monster to join the Hero Association as well, as I mentioned about female Phoenix Man, aka Phoenix Angel. I'd honestly like it if, Overgrown Rover joined the Hero Association. He could still be an S-Class hero, but he just wouldn't be your typical one. Could Monster Orochi survive the Night Guy attack from Naruto Shippuden when Guy uses it on 6th-Path Madara? Is the Night Guy equivalent to the normal punch or holding back punch from Saitama? So I talked about Naruto feats earlier in the Q&A and how they're kind of over-exaggerated because of the equations that were placed on them, which I think just don't matter, just in my opinion, of course, to each his own, but I don't rate the Night Guy attack that high. I think Orochi could definitely survive it, and I don't think it's as strong as a normal punch. Maybe it's close to a holding back punch from Saitama, maybe, but I personally don't rate it that high. What disaster level would you give Verdugo, the one Leon fought in the sewers from Resident Evil 4? If he had joined the Monster Association, personally I would give it mid-demon. Hey, I agree with you. I think mid-demon's pretty on the money for Verdugo. One of my favorite boss fights from that game, actually. Really enjoyed him. Super fast and super strong and durable. Okay, so on the previous One Punch Man chapter 125, I think we see Flash and Saitama inside the mines, going deeper and deeper underground. Now, hear me out, but what if they run into Orochi down there? Take the ocean, for example. The farther you dive down deep into the bottom of the surface, terror awaits like the 7 circles of hell, meaning that Orochi might still be alive, but a weaker version of him, because we saw body parts of him falling into the abyss, and we just, who knows how far it took for him to fall to the bottom, and that's where Flashy Flash fights him. What do you think? I know it's not going to happen, but I want to hear your thoughts. So, I'm always putting it out there that it is a possibility that Orochi's coming back, and also, you know, they did talk about him in that sequence, you know, they name dropped him, so maybe But also when you were talking about the going deeper into the ocean and the link that you sent me, I checked that out. I think a channel that you would be interested in for this stuff is called Deep Sea Oddities. It's on YouTube. It's fascinating, and it shows you all the crazy stuff that lurks in the ocean once you go deeper. I think you'd be very interested in that. But I hope that if they do go down there, I don't want them to run into Orochi because they'll just kill them. I want the other S-Class heroes to fight the revived Orochi. Last question, if you don't mind me asking, if you had to choose to do it with an anthropomorphic animal, who would you choose and why? Personally, I'd go with the female wolf. Hands down. Thanks a million, Shonen. Stay awesome. Hey, you too, Wolf Pup. So, this isn't in my wheelhouse. I don't typically go down that route, but if I had to, I guess I'd choose like the rabbit from Zootopia. I think I've seen too many memes on her being thick, so you know, why not? So that's pretty much it for the video today, guys. Once again, I want to thank all 103 of my incredibly overpowered, awesome patrons. I love you guys so much. Thank you again. And if you would like to be in next week's Q&A, just simply check out my Patreon. The $5 tier will give you access to this video. And if you haven't already, please subscribe as well. Have a great day, and I'll see y'all.